You're still onto the economy today, and today we want to look at the free zones. Free zones in Africa was established in around the 1980s. That was when African governments actually accepted that. And now this is Lagos State, and Lagos State has its own free zone. Though some other states also had, but Lagos State has its own free zone, and we want to look at its impact on the economy. Today, I'm in the office of the Deputy Managing Director of the Lekki Free Zone, Mrs. Ajibode Bolatito. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. First of all, want to look at the leverage, the impact that the Lekki Free Zone is bringing into the larger economy, you know, and how it's going to grow the economy, and what exactly is at stake.
Thank you very much. Growing the economy as a major or primary objective of setting up a free zone anywhere in the world is to grow the economy. And what does that mean? The impact on the people, the impact on government revenue. I'll start with the people. Today at Lekki Free Trade Zone, we have over 5,000 workers working in over 50 industries. So that is impact on people. You can imagine the ecosystem that is taking care of these 5,000 people. Talking about the impact on government, government has given incentives to all the operators in free zones, and those incentives is what really endear them to come and set up. But government is interested in growing the economy. The impact of their production activities on the economy is not measurable. You can imagine one of our enterprises, just one, last month, the month of May that just ended, the duty that they paid on to government because they export to the custom territory is 1 billion naira. Just one enterprise. So when you talk about growing the economy, it's growing the revenue of the government, for instance. So it's enormous.
Well, that is quite interesting, you know. But I want to look at the Nigerian economy away from, because this is like a scheme and it's in a place, but then from here, other things happen outside here. So that's you call it the custom zones or custom territory, is that? Yes. So let's look at the rippling effects, you know, on importation, on exportation, on the issue of growing some other businesses, SMEs, small businesses outside here, you know, and how they can also be part of it and also become bigger, not just within this area, but outside here.
Thank you. I will say that at Lekki Free Trade Zone, we want to be seen as that free zone that grows not just foreign companies, encouraging them to come in bring in their capital, but we want to grow the local economy. And growing the local economy is our focus at Lekki Free Zone because we have the space. We have 3,000 hectares of land. But there's a constraint. The constraint is we sell minimum of 1 hectare of land and we sell in dollars. That's huge for an average Nigerian investor. So we have seen lately, in fact, since inception, we have seen more foreign direct investments coming in to set up their businesses in the free zone. But how about Nigerians? So what we want to do and what we have started doing is to be deliberate about not just encouraging foreigners to come in, but also encouraging Nigerians to come in because a lot of them may not be able to afford to, you know, meet that threshold of 1 hectare and paying it in dollars. And this is even the function of your business. If you do business in real estate, the price is different from those who are in industrial. The price is different from those who are in oil and gas because we are multi-sectoral. Wow. So it is a big constraint for Nigerians. So since we came in, what we have done is to be deliberate about how we are going to incorporate Nigerian investors into this fold. And we have what you refer to as standard factory. Our standard factory is over 25,000 square meters, where instead of you buying 15 plots of land, you know, to set up your industry, you can just take half a plot inside that standard factory, come in with your machine, plug and play. There's water, there's light, there's security, there is gas, just anything you need.
But Ma, you just mentioned something now. This has to do with Forex. And sometimes the exchange rates may not even equal. Remember, you know that the way the Nigerian, will I say Forex or the dollar issue in Nigeria works is that we have the bank's exchange rates and also the parallel markets. So how do people cope? You know, businesses now, how do businesses, the local businesses cope? Because that's what I'm after, the local businesses. The international businesses can come in because they are foreign portfolios. They can actually make that kind of investment to make their money and go back to their country, take the money back into their country. So what exactly should the local business people be doing? How do they get their funds? Are they priced the same way like the foreign investors?
It's level playing ground for everybody.
A level playing ground.
So whether you are local or you are international, it's level playing ground. However, what we want to encourage is for Nigerian players in the zone to also focus on exporting. The port is just 3 kilometers away. That is a major enabler for us. So what we want to encourage Nigerians to do, even as they produce in the zone and they want to sell to custom area, it's fine. But they should be deliberate about selling a part of their products to foreign, exporting a part of their products, because we are the way free zone is regulated. You cannot access dollars outside of here. So now, you have to generate your own dollars. So if you have to generate your own dollars to pay us, if you go into the custom area, you cannot access dollars from central bank. You know, I used to work in the bank, so I understand where you are coming from. I did 32 years in banking, so they are precluded from accessing dollars from CBN. Anybody that operates in free zone, because you are expected to generate your dollars. It's one of the objectives of setting up free zone, to generate foreign exchange for the country. So you cannot go to the custom area again and start bidding for FX from CBN. It is a no-no. So your job, your priority, your business objective is not just to sell in Naira, but to also export your product so you can generate your own dollars to pay us and earn your own dollars too, especially for those whose raw materials are local. For raw materials, if you buy local raw materials, you are in a good space. Unlike those who need to buy dollars to bring in their raw materials. So you are in a good space. You use Naira to buy your raw materials, bring it to the zone, sell a part in Naira, and sell another part in dollars. Oh. There's no better way to put it.
So now let's look at government policies. Now, you know, sometimes somebody may start a business and all of a sudden the government puts down a policy that could just hamper that business all along. So does government policies, whether positive or negative, impact within that's apart from impacting on the custom area, which is the main country, does it have anything to do with where the scheme is? Yes,
it does. In fact, it has affected one of our investors who is assembling trucks. It's a Chinese company assembling trucks here. The automotive policy impacted them because they bring in the components here, they set up the assembly plants here, and they sell to the custom area. So if you sell to the custom area, definitely government policy will impact you. You are not insulated from government policy because you operate in a free zone.
And there's no way to actually, expunge that, just to separate that from within, because I actually asked that question and I say, well, what happens within the area also happens in the other customs area. So, and there's no way to separate that.
Because that's your market. If the custom area is your market, whatever happens in the custom area will affect you. It's only if we had what we call export processing zone. This is not an export processing zone. So it's an export processing zone, then you are insulated because you are not looking at the custom area as your market. Do you understand? So, but if you are looking at custom area as your market or your main market, you've definitely been impacted.
So now, the scheme, you say it has started, or it has started some time ago, or right now it has really started.
Which scheme are you talking about?
I mean, the free zone now, it has started.
Oh, sure.
It has started.
Oh, sure.
All right. So, what will you advise some SMEs? Like you talked about, the challenge of these SMEs is the issue of the dollar and then the price and all those things, and coming in here could be tedious for them. Is there no way, maybe, like when you say you are taking some goods to the exports, to exports, they will tell you, okay, just don't bring only you. All of you form maybe a group that has that type of products and then come together and we can export that. Can that happen with SMEs here?
Sure. That is why what we have here is what you can call SME incubator processing.
SMEs incubator.
So you have an incubator where SMEs will come in, process their products, sell to custom area, or sell abroad. So it is a good start for them to test the waters, to see whether it makes sense to even try at all. And those who are already producing, but they are bogged down with non-core activities. What I mean by non-core activities is activities that really should be outsourced, which is our job. You operate in the custom area. You have to take care of your water, your electricity, your security, your road, everything. So these are non-core to investors. They just want to face their production, produce and go. Efficiency is what drives business and is what brings down the price. But when there is no efficiency, when you are bogged down with capital that you don't need to invest in, you are buying double generator because you don't know when another one will pack up. So you are bogged down with all these infrastructural, demands that will even drain your capital. You are saying you don't need to do that when you operate in the free zone.
Okay, Ma, I'll come back to you now. I'm still here. In fact, let me say she just charmed me, and we had to run a bit into the time. So I'll be right back in the second half to ask her more questions on security and securing the businesses around and also outside here. I'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still here, and we're discussing the issue of the free zone and the Lekki free zone particularly. And the Deputy Managing Director is really giving me answers that I do expect. So now, you talked about the provisions, for water, security, and the rest of them, because these are things that people could actually see as a plight, as a challenge for them. So how do I secure my business when I'm not there? How do I secure the company? How do I do this? How do I get water? Do I need to source water outside and all that? So these are heavy questions that should be looked into. So securing now is it just within the free zone, or is it going to extend outside the free zone?
We are securing our investors within the free zone.
The investors.
So you don't have to worry about bringing your own security into the zone at all, except if you just want to. We have police station inside the zone with armed police, but we are getting additional 10 mobile police this month. That's just been approved by the AIG. So, and we have our own security operatives that are, paid every month. And we have the DSS here, don't forget. We have the DSS office here. So our investors are very, very comfortable when you look at, because most of these guys here today, they are mostly foreigners. What gives them comfort? Number one, even before you talk about the market, is the security. Security of their lives, security of their assets, and they know that they are well secured. And the environment is not hostile to them. The community people are not hostile to them. So you're fine when you come in here, except you want to do a higher level, but what we have is more than enough for anybody to be comfortable to do their business.
Let's look at, so you do agree that doing business here will enable the economy to grow better?
Sure.
Right now, so let's talk about the impact is going to make on the people outside here now, because the Nigerian populace, the ordinary man may not know anything about this. His own is just to get food for his tummy, shelter over his head, and clothing on his body. So, but that has to do with how everything is run. And then he's the last and final bus stop for everything the government or whoever is getting out to him. So what happens with the issue of fuel now? I know that there's a refinery around here that is within here, Now what happens to the issue of refining fuel, getting it out of this place, and then selling it out now? Because there's a rate that is out there that everybody is buying, and so many people are crying about it. And Nigeria, the government just removed the subsidy, and so it is even a bigger challenge. So are we to face that kind of challenge if everything becomes operational, or are we likely to see a change for the better?
Yes, I'll break it to long term, short term and long term. Yes, in the short term, we will get some pains because we all know it's going to happen. We all know this subsidy is going to be removed. It's just a matter of when. Now, it has happened. But at Lekki Free Zone, our proximity to Dangote Refinery is a strategic advantage for us. As a matter of fact, out of our 3,000 hectares of land, over 200 hectares is dedicated to oil and gas sector. And I can tell you that 200 hectares of land is over 90%
complete.
No, bought.
Bought. Oh.
Fully bought.
Oh.
By most of the key players in the oil and gas industry, the downstream industry in Nigeria. Name any key player. They are here. They have bought the land. Looking at the future. And the future is here. So from Dangote Refinery to our tank farm, don't forget we border Dangote. In fact, our oil and gas section is at the border of Dangote. So you have access to products from Dangote. And that takes away a lot, because what they will be complementing what Dangote will be doing in the downstream space. What we need in Nigeria is availability. Number one is availability, not so much of pricing. In the short run, pricing is going to hurt us. But in the long run, when there's availability, if you want to say fine of demand and supply, when there is supply, when there's abundant supply, prices are going to come down. Dangote is giving us 650 barrels. Don't forget that Bua is also doing 200 barrels at Akwa Ibom. So by the time you have all these pulled together, Nigeria will have too much refined products for her own citizens. So what's going to happen? Price will come down.
So there's a long-term plan.
In the long term, that's what I'm saying. In the short term, we are going to suffer it, no problem. It's a problem, but the truth is, it is a pain we have to go through. But I'm saying that in the long run, when the supply is in excess, I'm sure this new government is going to look at what's going to happen to the refineries that we have. The Kaduna Refinery, the Warri Refinery. It's possible that they have plans for that. If those ones also come upstream, and we have other, modular refineries coming up. We have modular refineries coming up. This one is gigantic. Dangote is gigantic.
And there wouldn't be any form of clash?
It's free market. So if you have modular refineries coming up, you have the Boa refinery coming in Akwa Ibom, you have Dangote refinery, and we have some turnaround maintenance done on our 4 refineries. I mean, what are you talking about? Price is going to come down. But that will be in the medium to long term. But in this short term, unfortunately, we have to bear that brunt.
Is the free zone facing any form of challenge, or is there any foreseen challenge that, everything looks bright and, clean and sweet, but the way you're talking is like, well, everything is cool. So, but everybody knows that there's always an atom or a little, dot of a challenge out there.
Yeah, you're right. Not everything is rosy here. I can tell you, I'm less than 1 year here, and every day I pull my hair and say, oh, wow, because there are things that we still need to do. Take, for instance, I told you about our size, the size of our land. We've only developed less than 50% of 3,000 hectares in 16 years. So if we have to use the same model to develop the land, 100 years we'll still be here. So we have used, for instance, an organic model to grow this place. But it's not sustainable for us. We still have a lot to do. If our water is only, we need to do like times 10 the capacity of our water. Just to give you an idea. Times 10. Do we have that deep bucket? Do we have the capital to deploy to provide all the infrastructure that we need for investors? The answer is no. So what do we need to do is to grow inorganically. That is the headache. If there's any headache I have now, is how do we grow and accelerate this place? Because all the dogs are on the road. The port is here, Dangote is here, the road is being constructed. How do we move? I need to work with other partners because we don't have the resources, we don't have the capital to provide all the infrastructure. So JV option is something that is a big challenge for us. It's not a challenge, it's an opportunity for Nigerians to come and partner with us, and let's do this together.